42 of the Dorton and Doetkott Debate Podcast. I am Lucas Dorton. Obviously, Nick is not here. Not the biggest hockey guy, but he's learning. He's learning. It's all that matters. So today, as you saw with our title, an NHL season preview. So we're going to be making some predictions today, season playoff, award predictions, and everything. So you're probably wondering, who are the two fine gentlemen sitting in front of me here to do this podcast with? Well, the man with the Colorado Avalanche hat, you probably recognize him because he has been on here before.
That's right.
Jayson Ramsey, ladies and gentlemen. Jayson, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. We do outnumber our other guest, though, on Avalanche fandom. Vaughn, Julius here. Vaughn, as you can see, being a Buffalo Sabres fan here with his hoodie. Vaughn, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So for those of you who do not know a little bit of background, that we used to do a podcast together. We have one other person who is supposed to be on. He might join at some point. I don't know. We'll have to see if his connection issues or everything gets figured out. That's Jacob Paul, so he may or may not be here. But anyways, that podcast that we have is called The Weekly Check. Used to be on the Heavy Hitter Network. We did it every week, talked about hockey. Some of the best memories was the ones doing it during study hall when Jayson said we had to do it for one of his classes, even though we didn't actually have to. But anyways, yeah. But it is good to have both of you guys here, and I wish I could say the same for Jacob, but he's not here at the moment, so we'll see if he ends up joining at some point.
Per usual, All right.
Yeah. Mr. Checks, Goonster, and Mr. Hockey. But anyways, so we will get right into the swing of things here. Starting off, we're going to be making our standings predictions. So, folks, this year, if you're not already aware, it's a little bit different than past years. They don't really have conferences. They just split all of the teams into 4 divisions. So there could be some teams that are typically in the Eastern Conference being lined up in a division with teams from the Western Conference. They kind of just did that to limit the amount of travel for teams with COVID and such going on. So that's what they did. So we have the East, West, Central, and the North Division. So we will first start off in the East Division. Now, the top 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. Now, we'll get that afterwards, but we'll just go team by team in the division. First off, Jayson, we'll start with you. Who do you have as the number 1 seed in the East Division?
We're gonna go down. You want just the top 4, or you want just one right now?
We'll go through the top 4. So actually, yeah. So give me your top 4, and then Vaughn, give me your top 4, and then we'll talk about that, and then we'll do the bottom 4.
Okay, so my top 4 are probably going to be. You want them in order here?
In order, yep, 1 to 4.
All right, I'm gonna throw a wild card out real quick here. I know Vaughn's gonna disagree. Number 1 in that division is gonna be the Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay.
Okay, number 2 in that division is gonna be the Washington Capitals.
Okay.
Number 3 in that division is going to be the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay.
And then number 4 is going to be the New York Islanders, with a close race with the Rangers.
Okay. So you think the Rangers might make a little run there?
Yes, for that 4th spot there, vying to get into the playoffs. That'll be the Islanders and the Rangers going at it.
That'll be interesting to watch. So it sounds like the top 3, you're pretty confident that it's going to be those 3 teams, but the number 4 could be a couple different teams there.
Yep, and then I think the Bruins are going to fall off because they've lost too many people. The Devils are just trash, and the Sabres kind of Sabres. They have Jack Eichel.
Oh, God.
That's not going to propel them into the playoffs. So the Sabres could be in there, but they're not going to be top 4. No way.
I agree.
So Vaughn, obviously being our resident Sabres fan, as we get the side of his face here. He's given us the incognito treatment here with the camera work here. But anyways, Vaughn, so give us your top 4 teams from 1 to 4 who you have in the East.
Well, I agree with Jayson. I think the Flyers are going to be up on top. They definitely have a young team developing right now, and it's looking promising. So I think Flyers are going to be number 1. Number 2 would have to be, I'd probably say either Washington or Pittsburgh for number 2, because those 2 teams are always dominant. So I'm gonna go Washington, and then number 3 would be probably Pittsburgh after that, and then number 4 would be probably the Bruins at last. Because even though they just lost Char, I just don't see the team going anywhere. So, and defense has always been a problem, and they always have their injured players, like their star players, always get injured. So that's going to be a huge thing for them. So I don't see them finishing at top.
Sure. So Tuukka Rask obviously decided to not play in the playoffs last year due to some health concerns with COVID going around and not wanting to bring anything home to his family. Everything sounds like from what I've heard, is that he'll probably be playing this year. If at some point Tuukka Rask decides that he wants to opt out again, I don't know if they can while the season has already started or not. But if he opts out, does that severely hurt Boston's chances? Jayson, what do you think?
Well, if he opts out mid-season, I think it does. That takes away one of their better players. But you got to think of some of the other guys that they lost. Torrey Krug to be one of them. They'll be all right. I just think the Islanders make the more of the push there than the Bruins, and so do the Rangers. I think the Rangers got to, I know they had the first overall pick, but I think they're gonna, get in there.
Vaughn, what do you think about the Rangers? You think, not this year, but maybe next year, next 2 years, maybe is their chance to finally do something?
Yeah, this year is they're probably gonna be at the bottom again this year, which is unfortunate. They have a lot of good players, and especially with the new kid Lafreniere, who's he's here now, but I don't think he's gonna get much done this season with the team. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I heard that Zibanejad actually didn't attend training camp because he had COVID, so kind of a low blow for the Rangers, though. But yeah, I don't see the Rangers really going anywhere this season. So
Sure.
thinking of the Devils.
Sure. Also, I guess not a Rangers player anymore, but for a long time he was, Henrik Lundqvist, obviously opting out of the season due to a heart condition that he had. So definitely wished the best of luck to him in getting back to the season. Maybe next year we'll have to see what happens. Definitely
maybe next in the Avs, we could use some goalies like that.
Yeah, well, we could. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and give my East Division standings here. So my number 1 seed, I also had the Philadelphia Flyers. I think they have a nice, young, solid core that they'll be able to do enough to lock up that number 1 seed. Number 2, it's going to be the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pittsburgh, for me, is one of those teams that it doesn't quite matter who is on the team, but if you have Sidney Crosby, obviously Malkin there too, you're going to be pretty solid. So I have them getting the number 2 seed. 3, I have the Washington Capitals as well too. Kind of along the same reason as Pittsburgh. Ovechkin's going to put the team on his back every single year like he has his entire career, and they'll lock up a 3 seed. And then my number 4 team, I have the New York Islanders. So I also have them making the playoffs, Jayson. So we have the same 4 teams, different order, but same teams
Strong goaltending there. Strong goaltending, for sure.
They do. They were a team on a mission last year.
Yep. I think they got the best. I think they got a better coach than their team. When you have that good of a coach, that it propels you a little bit higher than kind of what your superstars can get you to. I think they have that there.
Vaughn, what are your thoughts on the Islander? Do you think this is a team that if they get to the playoffs, they should be a force to be reckoned with, or do you think people will kind of be, throwing them off to the side a little bit?
Well, we saw how they played in the bubble this past season, and they were outstanding. They played really well. So I definitely think there's a chance for them to be a contender this season, and they're going to really be a team that be a team to mess with because, I mean, we watched the bubble. It was pretty good how they played. Barzell was outstanding, and they just re-signed him too. So into another couple of years, that's just really good for them. So I can see the Islanders, and then maybe not this season winning the cup, but maybe in the next couple, maybe 2-3 years, actually being a cup contender.
Sure. Yeah, Jayson, and that was a good point that you brought up too about the head coach. Barry Trotz. He's obviously been around a long time, and he has had success. Most recently, obviously, winning the Stanley Cup as head coach of the Washington Capitals. So he has been there. He's worked with all-star players, great players. This is a team that they do have good players because you obviously need good players to get to the playoffs. But if you stack up roster, roster-wise, paper versus paper, they're probably not going to win too many of those battles. But at the end of the day, if you have good coaching, a lot of the times that doesn't matter.
Yep. As long as you can outcoach the other coach, you're good. I mean, the Avs get outcoached all the time, so they lose games too. So you just see it. You know what I mean?
Yep. So we'll get into the 5 to 8 teams. Vaughn, we'll start with you on this one. Who is your 5th through 8th seed for the East?
Let's see. Well, last place, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be Buffalo. As a Sabre fan, I would like to say, yeah, we're going to be on top, but I know that's not going to happen. So I have to say the Devils will probably be last because last season they just struggled with, even though they had a bunch of good talent, they just couldn't seem to put it all together. Even Jack Hughes playing was not the kick they needed. So Devils would be last, and then probably 7 would be probably the Rangers. As I said before, they have a bunch of young guys, but they're not really yet ready to be a top contender again like they used to be. Plus, and then 7 or 6 would be Buffalo, even though signing Taylor Hall this offseason was probably their biggest move because no one saw that one coming. I didn't see it coming as a Sabre fan. I wasn't a big fan of Taylor Hall, but now that he's here, I guess I'm going to have to ship on the bandwagon here. And hopefully he's going to play really well.
Yeah.
And then 5th would be the Bruins.
Okay.
Even if Tuukka plays and stays, I see them they're not going to go that far. I just don't see it.
So Vaughn, I guess I got to ask you, being the Sabres fan, you kind of mentioned Taylor Hall there. Do you think, obviously this was a 1-year deal that Hall signed with Buffalo. Do you think that Taylor Hall signing back or not will depend on how Buffalo does this season?
No. The team is probably going to play the way they've been playing every year, which is unfortunate. We start off really hot. It always happens. We start off really good, and then we just kind of lose ourselves and we fall down, and it's just consistent loss after loss after loss, and then it just gets frustrating. So I don't think he's going to really help us push for a playoff spot. But if he plays really well and sees that this team is still in rebuilding and they can become a better team, then maybe in the future there's a spot for him to pay a long-term deal and we'll actually be a better team.
Does Jack Eichel leave after this season if Buffalo continues to play bad?
See, no, I don't think so because people always misunderstood. As much as he hates losing, everyone who hates losing, right? You don't like to lose. Everyone wants to win, right? But he doesn't hate the city. He loves the city of Buffalo, and he wants to stay here. He wants to help rebuild this team and be a winning team again. But I don't see him leaving. But if he does, I don't blame him. I can see him playing somewhere else.
Jayson, what do you think?
I beg to differ. I think all Minnesota teams love to lose. But anyways, I think he does. If they finish last, he's out. I think he's out.
Yeah. I think I tend to agree with Jayson on this one.
Signing Taylor Hall was just like a last little, hey, look, we can actually sign a big name, to try to keep him around. If they ship out Hall at the trade deadline and then they're still dead last, yeah, he's out.
Sure. Yeah. We'll have to see what plays of that, though. My bottom 4 teams, I have at 5 the Boston Bruins. They obviously, as Jayson and Vaughn kind of mentioned before, kind of lost some bigger names this offseason. I have the Rangers finishing 6th, Buffalo 7th, and the New Jersey Devils 8th. The Devils are one of those teams that they have a lot of young players with getting those high draft picks, but they haven't developed into where they could be a competent team yet. Now, 3-4 years down the road, maybe if those players haven't developed, then you probably have a lot of concern. But I think you still give them a little time yet. But for now, I do have them finishing 8th.
Yeah, and I would probably mine would be the same as yours. Yeah, I think we have the Rangers and the Bruins flip flop there.
Okay.
You got to see here, the Devils just lost Corey Crawford. He decided that he was going to retire, right? So that was their starting goalie going into the season. So now, what are they going to do goalie wise? I'm not sure they've made that decision yet. So, I think the Devils are down there. I think it, and then you got the Sabres, and then I think there could be a closer race, through it there. You got to think that all these teams are going to play each other, right? So,
Yeah.
if these teams are playing the Devils all the time, well, then, the Sabres are going to get more wins, and so are the Rangers, so are the Bruins, right? So, you just kind of got to look at that as well.
Sure. So we'll move into the Central Division predictions here. Vaughn, we'll start with you. Give us your top 4 teams in the Central.
Oof. Well, number one, defending champs is going to be Tampa Bay Lightning. They always seem to have a fantastic year, and I think they're going to make a really good bounce back, and they're going to be yet again top of the division. But this division itself just seems so weird. It's like, why is Dallas and Carolina and Nashville in the Central? And then you got Columbus, and then you put Florida in the Central. It's like, what in the name? So this is a weird one. I'm gonna have to, for number 2, I'm probably gonna have to go with the Carolina Hurricanes, as they also had a pretty good. They have an amazing defensive core, but they kind of struggle with goaltending, so that's an issue with them. And number 3, all Avs fans probably hate me. Nashville Predators. They're definitely going to be up there. They had a couple of small pieces this offseason, but they're still lacking goal scoring, which is, that's I don't know if they're going to be able to find the goal scoring again, even though they have like Matt Duchene and everybody. But so number 3 for them, and then last one. I'm gonna pull this one a wild card here. I'm gonna go with the Florida Panthers. Honestly, I think Florida could have a chance. They did get some underrated signings this offseason, but maybe it might be enough to get them in the playoff spot. I don't know, but we'll just have to see how the season goes for them.
Florida Panthers, a little bit of a curveball there. Okay, I like it. Jayson, who are your top 4?
All right. So even though I don't think that they might be there, I got to give them their respect. So number 1's going to have to be Tampa Bay, of course. And then number 2 pains me to say this, but it's going to be Dallas. Okay. Number 3 is going to be the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay.
All right. And then number 4 is the Carolina Hurricanes. And I do agree with Vaughn. I think the Panthers will be right there with the Hurricanes as well. So Panthers will be my 5. The rest of the teams in that division are trash. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very, very top-heavy division. The top teams are probably going to be one of the better teams in the NHL, and then the bottom teams are going to be one of the worst. Yeah. So for me, for my Central Division, I have at number 1, I also have Tampa Bay. You got to give them the due diligence of, being defending Stanley Cup champs. They haven't really lost a whole lot either, so I would be led to assume that they will probably be up there as they are almost every year. And then, Jayson, I'm with you 100%. It pains me a lot to put this team at the number 2 seed, but recognize real, and I got to put the Dallas Stars at number 2. With what they were able to do in the bubble last season, and obviously making it all the way to the Stanley Cup and losing to Tampa, not really losing too many pieces either in the offseason, and they kind of have their core there. So Dallas at number 2. For me, at number 3, I have the Nashville Predators as well. So I do have them. I think they might kind of have a rebound year this year, get back to their playoff ways that we've seen in the past, and put them there. And at number 4, I have the Carolina Hurricanes. Just kind of for the reason what Vaughn said before. They do have solid goal scoring. The defense is pretty legit as well too. The goaltending, like I said, that does scare me, and I think if they don't make the playoffs, that could be the reason why. It'll come down to the goaltending like most teams. But anyways, so we'll get into the 5 to 8 teams. Jayson, you want to give us your 5 to 8?
Yeah, so my 5 would be the Panthers, Hurricanes, those two kind of flip flops. And then 6, I'll give you the Predators there. Okay, they're not very good. They're gonna ship Matt Duchene out sooner rather than later. Trust me on this. The cancer in the locker room. That's why they suck. All right, and then the next 2 are the bottom of the barrel of the NHL right here. Okay, who can suck the most are these 2 teams, the Red Wings and the Blackhawks. I think it's going to be the Blackhawks because they don't have Jonathan Toews or Kirby Dach, or the rest of their team. I think the Red Wings, they had those growing pains last year. They might be a little bit better this year. But again, those 2 teams, I bet those 2 teams win against each other and not a whole lot about against everybody else in the division.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, especially with the bottom feeders in Detroit and Chicago. I feel that
it's so lovely to say. It's so
it
lovely
is.
to say.
So Vaughn, I'll get to you in a second here with your 5 to 8, but Jayson, I want to ask you another question here. Between Detroit and Chicago, who, in your opinion, has the brighter future, or the team that you think has the quickest chance to get out of the cellar?
Well, I think the Blackhawks aren't fully in the cellar too much. Kirby Dach got injured at the juniors, and then Jonathan Toews has a medical issue he's fighting through, right? So, yeah, I think it's a harder get out for the Blackhawks, but it sounds like the Blackhawks might blow it up, so I'm not sure. The Red Wings, they have some, Dylan Larkin's there. They just signed Nemestikov. They got that little coward Bertuzzi there. Uh, yeah. I think the Red Wings have some good. The Red Wings have a better. Is he the GM? I don't know. Steve Yzerman, is he the GM or player ops?
Yeah.
He's better than Bowman in Chicago. So I don't know. I think if you're asking how quickly, it depends on if the Blackhawks blow it up or not. If they do, the Red Wings. But if they don't, I think it's the Blackhawks still.
Vaughn, who do you have for your 5 to 8?
Oh, well, we all know it's probably going to be Detroit's going to be in last. There's no discussion there. After last season's abomination, they're definitely going to be last. They're still in the rebuild phase, so I don't see them finishing anywhere near but bottom. And then I disagree. I think Chicago is going to be up there, but yeah, like you said, 2 really star players that are injured, and just kind of opting out, but definitely. Yeah, so Detroit would be last, and then 7 would be Chicago. 6 is probably Columbus because Dubois wants to request a trade out, which is unfortunate because he's a pretty good goal scorer. So Columbus, to lose him that's really gonna hit them hard That's gonna make them struggle. So that'd be number 6, and then 5. It's tough. I really don't think Dallas is gonna be making it this year to the playoffs. I don't think so. Wow. I mean, they had such a push last year. I will agree with you on that. They did really well, but I don't see them going far this year. Plus they have to wait.
Yeah. So you think Dallas is going to be kind of a Cinderella story? Really great last year, and this year they kind of go back to their normal selves?
Yeah, I think, like I said, like just me throwing the curveball and putting Florida on the top. I think Florida's going to be ahead of them in points. It's going to be a good battle between Dallas and Florida, but I think Florida's going to take it and Dallas is going to be in the bottom. So,
sure. So my 5 to 8, I have Columbus at 5. I do think that they will remain competitive throughout the entire season. But I think at some point towards the end, the wheels are going to kind of fall off. I think Torrell is a heck of a coach. I think he does a great job at his job. So I think for that reason alone, you have to give Columbus some respect. But we'll have to see what happens. I have Florida at 6. Again, I do think they've made a lot of solid signings this offseason, but I don't think it's going to quite be enough to get them there. Next season, sure. Right now, I don't think so. And then I also have Chicago at 7 and Detroit at 8. I don't really need to give too much input into that. They're bad for a reason, and that's why they're going to be at the bottom. But yeah. Do you got something to say there, Jayson?
No, I said, yep, exactly. Bottom of the barrel. Just love to see it, don't you? Love it.
The only thing better is if the Wild would also be down there too.
Well, I mean, they pretty much are, but yeah.
So we'll go into the North Division now here. So I believe, Jayson, is it your turn to give us our top 4 here first?
Yeah, I'll go first here. All right, you ready? Number 1, the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
All right, number 2, the Vancouver Canucks. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3 is going to be the Winnipeg Jets.
Okay.
And then number 4 will be the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay. Okay. Vaughn, who do you have? What's your top 4?
Well, for number 1, I agree with Jayson. I think Edmonton's going to be up there. McDavid and Draisaitl are going to dominate yet again with the Oilers. Number 2, I'd have to agree. Also Vancouver, but I think they're going to struggle because they lost a lot of players. They lost Tyler Toffoli, Tanev is gone, and Markstrom. So those guys, without them, there's definitely going to be a struggle for them. But I think they'll find a way to adapt to that. Number 3, I'm gonna have to say Winnipeg. They have a pretty dang good forward core, but they're still lacking defense, which is it's a big problem. Connor Hellebuck is obviously a dominant in net, so that's good for them. But and then last but not least, I'm gonna say I'm thinking Montreal. Canadians are. I mean, they're still a young team, of course. There's not much. They got some veterans there, but there's definitely going to be some more time before they start being a contender. But I do see a potential for them to this year to be in the top 5. So,
my top 4 teams for the North, I also have Edmonton at number 1. Draisaitl and McDavid is one of the best duos in the league, and they're going to carry that team for as long as both of those guys are probably healthy. So I have them at number 1. My number 2 team is going to be the Calgary Flames. I think after having a very disappointing season last year, I think that they might make it back. They're going to shock some folks. That's kind of my dark horse team. I think Calgary is going to finish number 2. Okay, that's my dark horse team.
I love it. I love it. Who's your 3?
My 3 team, I have Toronto. I just think that the core that they have is so amazingly good that it would be very hard for bad management to screw that up. Unless it is Toronto, and they did give us Nazem Kadri for pretty much nothing.
My boy, Nazem.
You got Tavares, obviously Marner, Nylander, Austin Matthews. That's a solid 4 there. So you got to put them in. And then number 4, I also have the Vancouver Canucks, and at the 4th seed, making it in there. So 5 to 8. Vaughn, who's your 5 to 8?
North Division. There's only 7 teams in the North.
7, I guess. Yeah, there's only 7 in that one. My bad. 5 to 7.
Yeah. So obviously Ottawa's going to be last, of course. Even though they got some nice new jerseys, which look pretty good, I will admit they're nice. But they don't have the power to go up against these other teams in this division. So I think they're going to be still dead last, which sucks because they have a lot of young rookie talent that has a bright future ahead of them in the NHL. So Yeah, Ottawa's going to be last. I think number 6. Sorry, Lucas. I can't go with Calgary. Calgary is they're gonna suck the bed. I'm sorry.
That's okay. They're my dark horse
It's
team. It's
Kachuk.
not a sexy pick. It's not a sexy
Kachuk
pick.
just pisses me off. Okay, that kid pisses me off so much. He's so
Well,
cheap. It's like
you and
Jayson when he
everyone
plays
else in the
hockey.
NHL.
Wait,
So
I
bad.
would love to have him on the Avs. Okay, the Avs need somebody like that.
We just
No,
need a
you need Brady
douchebag on our
Kachuk.
team.
He's worth having. Not Matthew. Matthew's just he gives me such a headache. He's like the new Marchand. It just makes me upset.
I think.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Nice. Jayson,
Yeah.
who's your 5 to 7?
Yeah, so my 5 is going to be the Canadians. I think they've done a lot. I think they're moving up there. They're moving in the right direction for sure. The 6 is going to be the Calgary Flames. I'm not dogging on your pick. I just don't think they're going to be very good. And then number 7 will be the Ottawa Senators. I still don't understand why they traded all that for Matt Duchene and then let him go a year later. But yeah, they're still there. I think this division will be the closest out of all of them. I think these guys, there's a lot more in that 1 to 5 range. I think that it'll be a little tighter, because they're playing each other. So you get to watch McDavid and Draisaitl go up against Matthews and Marner, right? So I think those are going to be some hardcore games. But I mean, they're not. Besides playing the Ottawa Senators, it's not like the Central Division where you have 2 trash teams you're playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that division will be closer.
Yeah, I agree a lot. I think this is the more, probably the more balanced division. I feel, like the teams that are at the top should be at the top, but I do think there is a little more potential for those 5-6 teams to maybe, if one of the 4 seeds messes around a little bit, maybe they sneak into the playoffs. So I think this division has potential to be one of the more interesting ones to watch.
Yeah.
But so my 5 to 7, I have Montreal at 5. I don't think they're going to be enough to make the playoffs this year. I think they could mess around and contend, but I don't think they'll make it. My 6 seed, I have the Winnipeg Jets. Their defense is not great, and for that reason, I have them out. And then for my 7 seed, I have the Ottawa Senators. Made a couple additions in the offseason, but they don't have the go-to guy to just kind of say, let's go win this thing. And moving over to the West Division, Vaughn, we'll start with you on this one. This is an exciting division, 1 to 4. Who do you have?
Number 1, I'm gonna go Vegas because they are stacked. They are incredibly stacked. They just picked up Pietrangelo. You gotta think they are a stacked team, and they're destined to finish at the number top in this league. It's crazy. Number 2, I'm gonna have to go with the Avalanche. They did make some solid additions this season. Carring Saad and Taves. Devin Taves is actually a pretty good defenseman, so lucky you guys. And they are a Stanley Cup contending team. They just gotta figure out a way to stop choking in the playoffs, and then they'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, just don't play Game 7s. We'll be all right.
And then let's see, number 3 obviously is going to be St. Louis. Even though they lost Pietrangelo, they're still going to be up there. They made some pretty nice additions with Hoffman. They just signed him to a 1-year deal, and they got Krug, so that's really good. So they'll definitely be a competitive team to see in the West. And then number 4, from here, this is going to be a tough one. I think you both are going to hate me. I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
You're
okay?
not. No, you're
Don't
not.
hate me. Don't
do
hate
it.
me.
Don't do
it. I do think Minnesota is going to be up there.
Oh my!
I'm not even a wild.
Skip.
I mean, they do have. They have a solid defense. You may not see it, but they do have it. Maybe not when they play the Avalanche, of course, because everyone knows that. But they have a weak offense. Their goaltending is still weak. They just lost Dubnyk, but they have a bunch of young guns who are going to eventually shine, and this team's going to be pretty good. So I think they'll be in number 4, and then Number 5 would have to be probably, I don't know, not them either. Maybe San Jose. If Erik Karlsson has a bounce back year, okay, think about it. If he has a bounce back year, that man's going to be solid, okay. And they just picked up Dubnyk. I know he's not going to do anything for them, but he could help out in certain ways. So
Jayson, I know you're. Yep. Yeah. Jayson, I know you're chomping at the bit at this one. I'll let you go here.
All right. Number 1 in the division will be your boys, the Colorado Avalanche. All right. And it won't be close. Thank you. Next.
Nobody knows more about the Avalanche than I do.
That's right, baby. All right. Number 2 will be the Vegas Golden Knights. All right. Because this is a trash division. And only that. All right. Number 3 will be the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh, Lord Almighty! What the? What is wrong with you? Did you hit your head on something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Mister. Put the Wild in the top 4. Get out of here. All right. And number 4 will be the St. Louis Blues.
So I'll get into mine shortly here. Why are you very high on Arizona? Because myself and a lot of people included are not.
All right, I'll give you a couple names here. You ready? You ready for it? Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Clayton
he's a
Keller,
baller.
Phil Kessel. All right, and
Phil. Yep.
Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
Hey, did they not make it and play the Avs in the bubble? They did.
They did.
Yeah, but they lost so many players to the free agents, and they trade all their players for draft picks. So I mean, I don't see them. It's going to be another disappointing season, but maybe in the next couple of years, then they'll bounce back.
Your Blues are falling down below the Coyotes. That's all I'm saying. You wait, you watch. I'll be sure. I'll tag you guys in the tweets.
Dark horse. So that's kind of your dark horse team.
Well, it's not really a dark horse. They're good. I mean, look at the rest of the division. The rest of the division sucks.
Okay. Great comment. Great stellar commentary.
Sorry,
the Avs are number 1, and after that, it just sucks. So anyone can make it.
That's right, baby. The LA Kings, bottom of the barrel. Anaheim Ducks, bottom of the barrel. San Jose Sharks, they won't even play in their home arena. Bottom of the barrel. They're trash also. The Minnesota Wild, trash. Okay. What else? What is there other to compete with?
When you put it that way, that's
there are point. Those 4 that's teams going to win very much against the Avs, the Knights, the Blues, and the Coyotes.
Okay, well, I hope you prove me wrong. Arizona is a team that I'm sleeping on them. I'm sleeping on them, but if I'm wrong, I'll admit it.
Man, I've been there. I've been in their arena. They play. They're not as good as the Avs, and neither is Vegas.
Well,
Vegas had to tip guys out for their cap issues, but the Avalanche are the best. Besides their goalies and their coaches, we are the best.
So for my number 1 seed, I also have the Avalanche again. I put Jayson. I don't think it's really going to be close. The firepower that we have is just unbelievably ridiculous, and I think if we don't finish a number 1 seed, it's going to be disappointing. Number 2, I have Vegas. What's that?
I said true.
Number 2, I have Vegas. They played well again to get to the bubble and in the bubble last season. They already have a pretty solid team. Obviously, Vaughn had mentioned adding Pietrangelo as well too is going to be a big addition for him. Number 3, I have St. Louis. I think St. Louis is going to make the playoffs there again. Jayson mentioned it is not a phenomenal division, but somebody's got to make the playoffs. I think St. Louis will be the 3 team. And then number 4, I have San Jose. Obviously, if those main guys like Karlsson bounces back, like Vaughn mentioned, Devin Dubnyk, who had a couple disappointing last few seasons with Minnesota, we'll have to see what happens there. And then my bottom 4, my bottom 4 is going to be, I will have Arizona at 5. I will have Anaheim at 6. Wild at 7, and the Kings at 8. So that's my 1 to 8 there for that division. So we will go to the playoffs now, make some playoff predictions. So again, it's kind of weird, but essentially, again, the 4 teams, top of the teams in each division, will play each other and then to advance. And we'll keep doing that until the semifinals come, and then the semifinals will get turned around based off of how the teams finish point-wise in the regular season. So we will start with the North Division. Jayson, I will let you start with this one. Give us your so obviously the seeding that you have 1 to 4, who they're playing, and then who you have them beating, and then who do you have them playing to get to the conference semifinals, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so here we'll have the Oilers playing the Canucks and then the Jets playing the Maple Leafs, I believe, is how that one would work. And then I would venture to believe that out of that we would get the Oilers and then we would get the Canucks. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Toronto makes it there. Out of that matchup, to leave the one division winner out of that would be the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay. Vaughn, you have your kind of the same thing with Jayson. So your top 4 teams, who you have them playing, and then who do you have them going up against to go to the semifinals?
Probably have the same thing as Jayson has, because one, I don't have the bracket up pretty low, so I can't see what it would be like. But I agree with Jayson. That does sound pretty accurate.
Well, there you go. Makes things pretty easy there.
Yeah, it's hard to stop Connor McDavid and Draisaitl together.
Yeah.
If they're put on the same line together, if the coach is smart enough to put them on the same line, then they'll be invaluable. If not, then it's like
we can't control, if somebody's out for COVID or somebody's out for an injury, right? Probably at that time, COVID would be done and over with. But if somebody has an injury, right? But if we look at it on paper, I would probably say Edmonton's coming out of that North Division there.
So for my matchups, I have Edmonton as the 1 seed going up against Vancouver at 4, and then I have Calgary as the 2 seed going up against Toronto at 3. So Edmonton, I believe, will beat the Canucks again. Draisaitl and McDavid, it's going to be dang near impossible to stop that. You got to give them the respect. And then for Calgary and Toronto, I do think Toronto would win this matchup. I think the players that they have, as far as the big 4, like I mentioned before, I think would be more than enough to go past Calgary. And then Edmonton going up against Toronto. Again, I think I could see this series going 7. If it does, I just think that typically they say, 4 is better than 2, but when your 2 is McDavid and Draisaitl, that's a dang good 2, and so I'm going to take him against Toronto to go to the semifinals. We'll move over to the Central. Vaughn, if you want to start us with this one, who do you have for that? Unless, if you remembered your teams and then how the seeding would be for that.
Let's see. Well, it would be Tampa Bay versus probably would be Tampa Bay versus Florida. Obviously, Tampa would probably take that one. Number 2, Carolina would be taking on, who would I say?
Nashville, I think.
Yeah, Nashville. Probably Carolina without, unless they choke. They pull Rangers and get swept, which I don't think so. I don't think Nashville's that good yet, but Carolina for sure. And then the last one would be.
Then you have Carolina against Tampa.
Yeah, and then So yet again, I probably think if Tampa has the guts to do it, they could pull a repeat. I don't think they actually win it back-to-back years, but it is possible.
So for my Central Division, I have Tampa going up against Carolina. I don't think this is a close series. Tampa probably sweeps or wins in 5. I'm going to give it to Tampa here. And then my number 2, Dallas, going up against Nashville at 3. I hate to pick it. I do. But I got to go with Dallas. I think Dallas would win this series. And then Tampa going up against Dallas. I do think Tampa would win that matchup again going to the semifinals. Jayson, what did you have here for this?
All right, I think I had the Lightning up against the Hurricanes, if
Yep.
I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm going to take the Hurricanes winning that series.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
I am. I think Tampa
Okay.
has too many injuries. We'll see how
Okay.
it is in the back end of the season, but
Sure.
I don't know if they'll pull that off again. And
Sure.
then I think I had the Stars against the Blue Jackets, and I have the Blue Jackets winning that one.
Okay.
And then I would have the Blue Jackets coming out of that division.
Okay. I
Yeah.
would very much like to see a Columbus Blue Jackets team in the semifinals. I would
Yeah.
like to see that a lot.
Yep.
Obviously, I did not pick them to make the playoffs. I do think they are a good team, but they could make the playoffs, and I would very much be on board for a Blue Jackets semifinal.
That would be my number 4 on in the semis. Would be the Blue
Sure.
Jackets.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Um. So then for me, oh, we mentioned that. Or I already mentioned mine. So we'll move over to the East Division now. Um, Jayson, we'll start with you here. Who'd you have for the East?
Yep, I think I had the Flyers going up against the Islanders. I think that'll be a 7-game series with the Flyers out on top there. And then I think I had the Penguins and the Capitals together, I believe. I'm going to go with the Penguins there. And then Penguins Flyers, it would be the Flyers over there. That would be my number 2 in the semis.
Okay. Okay. Vaughn, who did you have for your East?
I believe I have Flyers on top. I think they played against, I think it was Pittsburgh. So for that, I might say, I'm going to say Pittsburgh. They're going to win 4-3. And then for my number 2, it'd probably be Washington, and they'd be taking on, looks like probably Boston. And from there, I would think Washington wins that 4-2.
Okay. I have the Flyers going up against the Islanders. I think the Islanders win this one, so I'm going to give New York the win on that as the 4 seed here. I kind of like them. I think they're going to be a sneaky good team. Sneaky, and I say that as in obviously they made the run in the playoffs last season, but I don't think people will be expecting them to do much this year. I have them beating the Flyers here. And then the number 2 Penguins against the number 3 Capitals. I have the Capitals winning this series and beating them. Islanders versus the Capitals. I have Washington winning that one, and I have them as my 4 seed. So I did not mention before, I have Washington as my 4 seed. I have Tampa as my 3 and Edmonton as my 2 seed for that. So just to make that clear. So Jayson, move over to the West now. West matchups.
Okay. I think I messed that up, but the Jackets would be 4 for me. The Flyers would be 3. The Oilers would be the 2 there. Yep,
Okay.
you're right there. And then so it would be the Avs against the Blues. And that would be a sweep for the Avs. The Avs would easily take care of the Blues.
Sure.
I just have to throw that up there. And then the Coyotes and Golden Knights, I think that's a little closer of a series, but I do think the Golden Knights take that. And then it would be the Avs against the Knights, and the Avs take that easily again.
Okay. And you have
I,
them as your
that,
1. Yeah.
I won because they're going to have the most points in the league. Yep.
Vaughn, who did you have for your West?
West, I had Vegas at number 1. And for the 4th seed, I had Minnesota, because you guys are just hating on me. You never know.
I'm going to be honest. I'm hating.
But think about, listen, you're going to like this, though. Vegas sweeps
I don't
them.
know.
So you'd be happy.
Oh, I do like that. Okay. I'm on board here. All right.
Okay. And then for the 2 and 3 seeds, it'd be the Avs versus St. Louis. And I would agree the Avs would beat St. Louis, but they wouldn't sweep them.
Okay. Okay. So you have the Avs in the semifinals then, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so for semi-final matchups here, we'll start with Vaughn. Who did you have for your semi-final matchup? So who do you have as your 1 seed having the most points in the regular season, going up against the least points of the 4th seed?
So let's see. For probably I had, what was it, Tampa Bay. Then they would be taking on the least amount of points. Would probably be playoff round 2. Least amount. Would they? No, they wouldn't play. Would they? No, they would. Would they play Carolina technically?
I'm not sure. Yeah, whoever their team with the most points you think is going up against.
That's the Lightning. That's the same division. Your Lightning comes out of that division, so your Lightning would play somebody in one of the other divisions.
Oh, so it'd be probably Washington then. Washington or yeah.
Okay, and then who do you have winning that matchup?
Still Tampa Bay.
And then what about your 2 versus 3 seed?
Ooh.
That's Avs versus Oilers should be.
Avs Oilers, yep. Who do you have winning that
one? Probably the Avalanche.
I like it. So we have Avs versus Tampa. Okay. And we'll get that pick in a second. Jayson, it's yours.
All right. So the Avs would play the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the Oilers would play the Flyers, and the Avs would handle the Jackets pretty fairly easy. And then the Oilers and Flyers, I think that would be a 7-game series, but I do think the Oilers would come out on top on that one. So it would be Avs Oilers Stanley Cup Finals.
Okay. My matchups, I have the number 1 Avalanche going up against the Capitals. I think that has potential to be an extremely high-scoring series. But I do think at the end of the day, the Avs are going to score more, and they're going to win that matchup there to go to the Stanley Cup. And then I have the number 2 Edmonton going up against number 3 Tampa. I do think this is where Tampa's reign kind of ends here. And I do think Edmonton is going to win that matchup. So I have the Avs going up against Edmonton, just like Jayson, in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, Stanley Cup predictions. Jayson, we'll start with you. Avs Oilers, who do you have and why?
All right. I know this is going to come as a shock, but the Colorado Avalanche are going to be the Stanley Cup champions. And boy, is it going to feel amazing. Okay. And I give it maybe 6 games or so. Edmonton might hang on a little bit because Grubauer isn't the best.
Sure.
And I think it gets bounced around if Grubauer is still there. If we figure out and put Frankie in, then it might be a sweep. But the Avalanche, all day long, every day, their talent is just too much.
I like it. Mr. Julius, who do you have winning your Stanley Cup matchup?
I will agree.
Yep.
What?
Nope, go ahead.
As much as I do think it would probably be, I said Tampa Bay, but I don't think Tampa Bay would do a repeat. But I would agree with Jayson. I think the Avs would definitely be able to pull off a cup win this year, which would be incredible because I live in Colorado too. I'd like to see that. It'd be nice to see the Avs win. So I'm gonna go with the Avs on this one and say they're gonna be our Stanley Cup champs.
Plan the parade, baby. We're going.
Yeah, I will be making a trip from Minnesota because I also have the Avalanche beating the Edmonton Oilers. I think that'll be an extremely fun series to watch. And the McKinnon versus McDavid debate. Put my boy Nate Mack on top of that pedestal, baby. I'm here for it. I'm ready to see it. Your 2021 Stanley Cup champions, the Colorado Avalanche.
Thank you. Great picks, everybody. Great picks.
Everybody. And I'm sure if Jacob was here, he probably would also pick the Avalanche to win.
True.
So we'll just assume that.
True.
So award predictions now. We'll get into that here. We will start with the Hart Trophy, which is the MVP award in other leagues. Vaughn, we'll start with you. Who is your MVP for this season?
Oh, well, it's between, actually, there's three players I have. There's three. It's a
Okay.
tight one. So right now, Nathan McKinnon would be number one. He's been really good lately, and he's just keeps getting better every single year. So he's definitely up there. Number two would be Carey Price.
Mm.
Even though Carey Price already has one, but he can definitely get another one. And he's been outstanding. He's just been a solid goaltender. Even though he's been on a not so good team the past couple of years, he still finds a way to just be outstanding. So, and number three would be Sid the Kid at number three. He is a future Hall of Famer, but definitely he's up there. But if anyone's destined to win it, I probably think it would be probably Nathan McKinnon.
Jayson, what do you think?
Nathan McKinnon. Nate Dogg, the baller.
Young Nate.
He's been stripped of it twice for no reason. This is the year he gets it. And I don't want to hear Nathan McKinnon's on a stacked team, okay? I don't want to hear that crap because he should have been over Taylor Hall. Nathan McKinnon.
Jayson, I have Nathan McKinnon as well, too, for pretty much the exact same reason that you just said. He has gotten screwed twice now. I think if he's destined to win it. He is destined to win it. He's going to win it. So welcome to the MVP Club Hart Trophy winner, Nathan McKinnon. That'll be fun to watch, too. Him raising at the award ceremony, the Stanley Cup trophy and the Hart Trophy in both hands. I'm looking forward to watching that. That'll be fun.
Yep.
So now we will move on to the Calder Trophy, which is the Rookie of the Year, so the best rookie out of the season. Jayson, we'll start with you. Who do you have for this?
I'm gonna have to go with Lafreniere. First overall pick, New York Rangers. I think he gets it done playing with Panarin. I think that's the easy choice there.
Vaughn, who's your Calder winner?
Oh, hold on. I gotta see who the other rookies are. One moment. Oh, please. I gotta see here. Who are the other rookies? Because you can't just say Lafreniere as much as he is the number one pick. You gotta think there's other rookies out there.
Well,
that's fine, but they're not as good as him.
Kaprizov kid from the Wild. I've heard that he could be a big player this season. Lafreniere, Shesterkin.
You doing the Norris too or no?
Yeah. Yep. We'll do the Norris too.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I got a dark horse for the Norris.
So let's see. By top three, it'd have to be Lafreniere. He's good just from watching him play in the World Juniors and watching him play in the juniors. That was pretty good. I might this one. I don't think he's gonna do it just yet. I don't think he's NHL ready yet, but he's probably gonna make the lineup anyways. Dylan Cousins. You guys have probably no idea who that is, do you?
I'm gonna be honest, I have not.
Exactly. Especially you, Jayson. I know you don't know anything, but it's like.
Whoa!
I'm right. I'm right.
It's going to be huge.
And let's see. What was the oh God, I'm gonna butcher this name so bad. Ilya Sorkin from the Islanders. The odds are in his favor. He is a goaltender, though.
I like it. It.
Those are my three choices. My phone's about to die. Awkward.
Well, that's all right.
That's
so
okay.
we will.
Charger. It's going mobile now.
Oh, going mobile. Nice. So we will move for the Vezina now. Jayson, we'll start with you since Vaughn's finding a charger right now. Who do you got for the Vezina?
All right, I have to go with. Oh, it's going to be a close one, I think, between Hart and Vasilevsky. I think Vasilevsky takes it. Dark horse, maybe Carey Price. I wouldn't be shocked to hear if one of the Avs goalies in there. They're not good, but they're on a good team, so they might be there. I think that I think if the Avs play Francouz more than Grubauer, Francouz will win it, though. You heard that here first.
Okay, I'm here for it. I'm here. It's going to be a fun day at the awards ceremony.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of Avs there.
A lot of Avs. My pick for the Vezina, I'm going to go with Vasilevsky from Tampa. Again, this guy's one of the best goaltenders in the league for a reason. His name's going to be in there, and he's going to be a solid piece to the Tampa Bay Lightning if they want to repeat. Vaughn, who do you have as your Vezina?
Vezina. Oh, Robin Leonard.
Okay. I mean, it's an out there pick, but I like it.
That's an out there pick? What you talking about as an out there pick? What are you talking about?
He's a good player, but I'm saying that as in I don't think a lot of people would pick him. I think he's a dark horse pick. So we will move into the Norris Trophy winner. So that's the best defenseman in the league. Jayson, you have a shocker here. Who do you got?
You ready for it? You better be surprised. The Norris winner will be Cale Makar. Thank you. I rest my case.
Okay. You know what? It could happen. It could happen.
I think it will. He'll get a lot of press this year. I think it will happen.
Vaughn, who's your Hedman winner? Or who's your Norris winner?
I was going to say Hedman, but thank you. You kind of answered it for me. Either Victor Hedman or Roman Josi.
Yeah. So I have, for the Norris, I have Hedman winning as well, too. I got messed up because I looked at it and I saw Hedman and I was like, wait a minute, that's why I have winning the Norris. That's not the name of the trophy. So I have Hedman winning the Norris from Tampa Bay. And then we will move over to Coach of the Year, Vaughn. Who's going to be the Coach of the Year, the Jack Adams winner?
All right. Yet again, I have 3 picks. One of them, you're going to hate me yet again, but just stop. Especially you, Jayson. I see you looking at me already. Okay. So my number 1 pick for a coach is Jared Bednar.
Skip. No, Skip. No. Okay, go ahead. No, Skip. No. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Doing good. He has a shot to be a really good coach. Well, he is a pretty good coach. And then Sheldon Keefe from Toronto. And the new guy from Minnesota, the Dean Evanson. So those are my top 3. But if anyone's probably destined to win it, it's probably going to be Sheldon. Your boy Sheldon's going to win it.
Jayson?
Yeah, John Tortorella.
I also have Tortorella too.
Yeah, I have the Blue Jackets going to the semifinals, right? So if they're there, Tortorella's there. If the Avs win the cup, they might throw that pity award to Bednar. I don't think so.
I'm going to do a quick change and an audible here. I have Tortorella. I think he'll finish number 2. Number 1, I think, is going to be Barry Trotz. Now that I think about it, I think Trotz may have the better chance. But I think Tortorella might finish second in that voting.
I think it's probably so there are 3 finalists, right? It'll probably be Bednar, Trotz, and Tortorella. Change my mind.
You're probably right. But anyways, folks, that is the end of the show. So we'll leave this. Vaughn, Jayson, either of you guys have anything to say as far as NHL stuff go? Any questions, comments, concerns you want to bring up?
Did anyone watch the World Juniors game?
Yeah, yes. Where the United States of America took home gold, baby.
And they had a barrel with Team Canada on it, and all Canada thinks it's a trash can saying that they're trash. Well, but it's really not. But it's a motto to kind of get you going throughout the season. It's like some hype, But
$40 case of beer up there. That's trash, man. That is trash.
Nice. So this is the part of the show where we'll let you guys give off your Twitter handles, social media handles, or anything if you want people to contact you to talk about sports. Vaughn, where can the fans find you at?
Well, I don't have a Twitter because I forgot my password, and I made another one, and I forgot my password for that one, so I don't have Twitter. I do have Instagram if you want to contact me on there. It's Mr. Hockey 95, so if you want to contact me on there. And if you're a gamer too, if you're a gamer want to play NHL 21, that awful game that we have, gamer tag is Apex Ghost 77. So just hit me up on there. Always need some new people for club. So,
You
All
get
right.
yourself a PlayStation finally, or what?
What?
Did you get yourself a PlayStation finally, or what?
Why would I do that?
Oh,
Jayson,
because
give off your social media handles here for
all
us.
right, I'm always in the Avs mentions. Okay, so it's very easy to find me, Jayson Ramsey 9. Jason's with a Y, Jayson. I'm always there talking sports. I'm a big sports bettor now. I'm into the
Yes.
sports betting.
Yes.
Let's talk some sports bets for sure.
Yes.
Uh, I think I'm gonna bet my stimulus check on the Avs on Wednesday night. Not sure if I'm gonna do that or not yet, but I might. I might. We'll see how it goes. But I'm always there. I'm always down.
Yep, Jayson is always active on the social media. So even when he talks about basketball and he doesn't know anything about basketball, you can be there for that too.
I know plenty about
But
basketball.
anyways, we'll
But
move on. If you want to like to follow myself on Twitter, you can follow me at Lucas_Dorton, capital L, capital D. Nick obviously is not here. If you want to follow him at Doetkott. And if you want to follow our official Twitter page, it is at DND_podcast, capital D is capital P for that. So be sure to do that. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube as well, too. Dorton and Doetkott Debate Podcast. But anyways, folks, thank you, Jayson and Vaughn, for joining us tonight. Jacob did not make it, but we'll have to have a reunion with the full weekly Czech crew another time. But hope you guys had a good time. But anyways, folks, thank you for listening to episode 42 of the Dorton and Doetkott Debate Podcast. As for Jayson, Vaughn, and myself, until next time, we are out.